The human ship floated silently through the empty space between stars, its metal hull gleaming in the distant sunlight inside. Captain Amanda Miller stood on the bridge, her eyes fixed on the main screen where 3 alien visitors waited to board prepare. For docking procedures, she said to her crew, her voice calm but firm. This diplomatic mission is vital to establishing relations with the Lorani. The crew moved with purpose, checking systems and preparing for their important guests. Susan, the communications officer, looked up from her station. They are requesting permission to board their shuttle is approaching docking bay. 3, Amanda nodded. Grant them access and alert our diplomatic team, she ordered as she straightened her uniform. This first official meeting between humans and Lorani could shape relations between their species for generations. The Lorani were a mysterious species from a distant star system. Their technology far exceeded human capabilities, but they were cautious about sharing. Rumors said they possessed the secret to faster-than-light travel, something humans had sought for centuries. The ship trembled slightly as the alien shuttle connected with the docking bay. Amanda took a deep breath and headed to greet their visitors, walking through the gleaming corridors of the ship named Explorer. When the airlock doors slid open, Amanda saw the 3 Lorani ambassadors for the first time. They were tall, elegant beings, with iridescent scales covering their bodies and elaborate crests on their heads. Their eyes were large and intelligent, showing both caution and curiosity. "Welcome aboard the Explorer, Ambassador Diana," Amanda said with a respectful bow. "We are honored by your presence." The tallest Lorani stepped forward, her scales shifting in color from blue to a lighter shade, showing her emotional state. "I am Diana, lead diplomat of the Lorani Collective," she said, her voice musical yet formal. "These are my associates." Lily and Kate. Amanda introduced her own team members, Sam the science officer and Olivia the diplomat. The humans tried not to stare at the beautiful alien visitors who moved with graceful flowing motions. "Unlike anything human, we have prepared quarters for your stay," Diana said, Olivia gesturing toward the residential section of the ship. "We hope they will be comfortable for your physiology." Kate, the shortest of the 3 aliens, tilted her head in what seemed to be appreciation. "Your consideration is noted," she replied, her scales rippling with subtle patterns of light. "We look forward to productive discussions." As they walked through the ship, Amanda noticed how the aliens observed everything with intense interest, their eyes missing no detail of human technology or design. They seemed particularly fascinated by the plants growing in the hydroponic garden. "These are remarkable," said Lily, stopping to examine a flowering tomato plant. "On our world, plants do not grow in metal containers." Sam smiled proudly, explaining how humans had adapted to growing food in space. "This hydroponic system recycles water and nutrients, allowing us to grow fresh food even on long journeys." The aliens exchanged meaningful glances, their crests rising slightly in what Amanda guessed was excitement or surprise. "This kind of adaptation is most impressive," said Diana. "Perhaps there is much our peoples can learn from each other." The tour continued through the ship with the human crew, explaining various systems and technologies, while the Lorani visitors asked insightful questions about human society and customs. Their curiosity seemed genuine, making Amanda hopeful about the diplomatic talks ahead. They reached the conference room where negotiations would take place. A large window showed the vast expanse of space. With distant stars glittering against the darkness, the room was prepared with refreshments and data pads containing information about both species. Amanda gestured for everyone to take seats. The humans on one side of the table, the Lorani on the other. "Shall we begin?" she asked, her voice professional yet friendly. "The future of both our worlds may depend on what happens in this room." Diana nodded, her crest fully extended, showing her serious intent. "Indeed," she agreed, "there is much to discuss," but before anyone could speak, the lights in the room flickered briefly, and a low alarm sounded from somewhere deep in the ship. Amanda frowned, looking at the notification that appeared on her wrist device. "I apologize," she said, standing quickly. "It appears we have a malfunction in our environmental control system. The engineers are investigating." Kate looked concerned, her scales darkening to a deep purple. "Is there danger?" she asked, her voice revealing worry. Amanda tried to appear confident. "Just a technical issue," she assured them. "Our ship is designed with multiple backup systems. There is no immediate cause for concern." But as the words left her mouth, the temperature in the room noticeably increased, and a warning message flashed across the main screen. Primary cooling system failure. Backup systems engaging. Little did any of them know that this simple malfunction would lead to unexpected cultural exchange that would change relations between their species forever and test the limits of both human and Lorani adaptability in ways none could have predicted. The ship grew warmer with each passing minute. Sweat began to form on the humans' foreheads while the Lorani scales started to lose their vibrant color. Amanda tapped her communication device urgently status report on the cooling system she demanded. Chief Engineer Tina responded, her voice tense. We have multiple failures in the primary and secondary cooling systems. Someone or something tampered with them. Repairs will take at least 6 hours. Amanda glanced at the Lorani visitors who were showing increasing signs of distress, their normally upright postures beginning to slump, and their breathing becoming labored. She knew from the briefings that their species evolved on a cool world and struggled in high temperatures. We need to move you to a section of the ship that might stay cooler longer. Amanda suggested the cargo bay has separate environmental controls. Diana nodded weakly, her once bright scales, now a dull gray. We would appreciate any assistance. Our biology is not adapted to heat. As they made their way through the corridors, other crew members were already removing outer layers of their uniforms, the temperature climbing steadily throughout the ship. When they reached the cargo bay, they found it only marginally cooler. Lily, the science specialist among the Lorani, leaned against a metal container. Her energy visibly depleting. Our body temperature regulation depends on our scales maintaining optimal hydration. She explained, each scale contains fluid channels that disperse heat, but they require cool air to function effectively. Sam, the human scientist, looked thoughtful, her mind racing for solutions. If your scales need more surface area exposure to cool effectively, perhaps. She hesitated, looking at Amanda for permission to continue. Amanda understood the cultural implications but nodded. This was becoming a matter of visitor safety, not just comfort. Sam continued, carefully on human vessels when environmental controls fail, we adopt emergency protocols which include removing unnecessary clothing to prevent overheating. Would similar adaptations work for Lorani physiology? The three aliens conferred among themselves in hushed tones, their crests rising and falling in patterns that indicated serious discussion. Finally, Diana turned to face the humans. In our culture, she began, exposure of scales is sacred, reserved for intimate partners or medical emergencies. It would be highly unusual. Kate interrupted, her voice strained. But this qualifies as a medical emergency, does it not? The temperature continues to rise and our biological functions are already compromised. Diana considered this, her leadership role requiring her to make difficult decisions. We will adapt to the situation, she finally declared, but request privacy to make necessary adjustments. Amanda quickly organized the cargo bay, creating a separate area behind tall storage containers where the Lorani could modify their attire. She provided lightweight human garments, athletic wear, designed to wick moisture and allow airflow. When the aliens emerged sometime later, they wore minimal human clothing, their scaled bodies largely exposed to the air. Immediately, their breathing eased and their colors began to brighten. This is most effective, said Lily, examining her arms where scales now glistened and rippled with returning energy. The airflow against exposed scales accelerates heat dispersal. Sam nodded, tracking their vital signs on her medical device. Your core temperatures are already stabilizing, she confirmed, though still elevated. Meanwhile, across the ship, Tina and her engineering team discovered something disturbing about the system failure. It wasn't an accident. Someone had deliberately sabotaged the environmental controls using advanced technology that seemed beyond human capabilities. Amanda received this troubling report in private, her face growing serious as she realized the implications. There must be a saboteur aboard, possibly trying to disrupt the diplomatic mission. But who, and why? She glanced at the Lorani visitors now recovering in their modified attire. Could one of them be responsible? Or was there another explanation? Olivia, the human diplomat, approached Amanda, speaking quietly. We have another problem. The communication system is also malfunctioning. We can't contact Earth or the Lorani homeworld. Isolation and rising temperatures, both classic tactics to force negotiation concessions. Amanda thought, her military training kicking in. She needed to protect both her Crew and their visitors while uncovering the truth, Diana noticed the humans conferring and approached her natural authority, evident despite her unusual appearance for a Lorani diplomat. Something troubles you beyond the environmental failure, she observed. Amanda hesitated, unsure how much to reveal to their guests. The relationship between humans and Lorani was still too new, too fragile for complete trust. Yet diplomacy required honesty. We believe the system failures may be deliberate, she admitted. Someone might be attempting to disrupt our meeting. Kate's crest flattened against her head, a sign of alarm. You suspect Lorani involvement? No, Amanda said quickly. I make no accusations. We have many potential adversaries who would benefit from preventing an alliance between our species. Lily, who had been examining the cargo bay with scientific curiosity, spoke up, her voice thoughtful. The sabotage required intimate knowledge of your ship systems that suggests an inside perspective. The uncomfortable truth hung in the air. Either a human crew member was betraying their mission, or one of the Lorani was not who they claimed to be, as tensions rose with the temperature. Amanda made a decision. We must work together to solve this mystery. She declared to both humans and aliens, we are all at risk now and survival depends on trust. Diana stepped forward, her scales now a determined blue. I agree, she said. This challenge may actually strengthen our understanding of each other. Little did they know that the rising heat was only the beginning of their troubles elsewhere. On the ship, hidden eyes watched their every move, and unseen hands prepared the next phase of a dangerous plan. The temperature continued to climb throughout the ship, reaching dangerous levels for both species. While engineering teams fought to repair the sabotage systems, Amanda organized a search for the saboteur, with both humans and Lorani in lightweight clothing working side by side. Cultural differences became less important than survival. The three alien visitors showed surprising resilience once they adapted to their new circumstances. Lily, the Lorani scientist, worked closely with Sam, analyzing the sabotage pattern. There is something familiar about this technique, she said, her crest rising with concentration. The energy disruption signature matches a method used by the Vex. Sam looked up sharply. The Vex, the mysterious raiders who attack ships in this sector. Diana joined them, her expression grave. We have not shared this information widely, but the Vex were once part of Lorani society, a splinter faction that rejected peaceful contact with other species. They believe all advanced technology should remain within Lorani control. This revelation changed everything. Amanda realized the sabotage wasn't aimed at disrupting diplomacy. It was likely a prelude to an attack. The Vex wanted to prevent an alliance between humans and Lorani. At any cost, we need to prepare for possible boarding, she told her security team. They may try to take advantage of our weakened state. As if summoned by her words, the ship's sensors detected a small vessel approaching fast on an intercept course. Olivia called from the communication station. They're not responding to hails. The Explorer rocked violently as something attached to the outer hull. The sound of metal cutting through metal echoed through the cargo bay. They are creating an entry point, Kate said, her scales paling with fear. Amanda activated emergency protocols. All crew to defensive positions, she ordered. Prepare for intruders. But with systems compromised by the sabotage, security doors failed to close and weapons lockers remained locked. The ship was vulnerable. The Lorani visitors exchanged glances, then Diana stepped forward. We can help, she said. Our bodies are not merely decorative. Our scales can harden for protection, and we have natural abilities your attackers may not expect. Tina rushed into the cargo bay, her face streaked with engine grease and sweat. I found it, she exclaimed, holding up a small device with blinking lights. Not just sabotage, but a beacon guiding the attackers to our position. Before anyone could respond, a section of wall exploded inward, and armored figures rushed through the breach, their bodies covered in dark scales, and their weapons aimed at both humans and Lorani. Surrender the ship and the diplomats, a harsh voice commanded. Amanda stood protectively in front of her crew and guests. We will not. The lead attacker removed their helmet, revealing scales similar to the Lorani visitors, but darker, with red patterns flowing across them. This is Vex Commander Zara, she said to Diana. You betray our people by sharing secrets with these primitive humans. Diana drew herself to full height, her crest fully extended in defiance. You betray our true values. Zara, the Lorani have always sought knowledge and connection. Isolation will lead to stagnation and, eventually, extinction. Zara laughed a cold sound. You always were an idealist, cousin. Amanda glanced at Diana in surprise. There is much you don't know about our internal politics, Diana said quietly. Zara and I share ancestry, but not values. While they spoke, Kate had been slowly moving her hands in patterns at her sides. Suddenly, the cargo bay lights flickered and went completely dark. When emergency lighting activated seconds later, 2 of the Vex intruders lay unconscious on the floor. Lorani. Bioelectric defense. Kate explained, her scales glowing faintly with residual energy. We rarely use these abilities in the presence of other species. The remaining Vex, including Zara, fired their weapons, forcing everyone to take cover behind cargo containers. The heat in the room made it difficult to think clearly. But Amanda noticed something about their attackers' movements. They're struggling with the heat too, she whispered to Diana. They must have expected the environmental systems to be working normally by now. Diana nodded. The sabotage is affecting them as well. Vex usually wear full environmental suits. Their scales are genetically modified for combat, but less efficient at temperature regulation. This gave Amanda an idea. She quietly relayed instructions to Tina through her communication device, then turned to the Lorani diplomats. We need to raise the temperature even more, she explained. Can your people tolerate another 5-degree increase? Lily looked uncertain but nodded. We can manage for a short time. Amanda signaled to her crew, get ready to move on. My mark, suddenly steam burst from overhead pipes, filling the cargo bay with hot mist. The temperature spiked dramatically, and the Vex attackers staggered their movements. Becoming sluggish now, Amanda shouted. Humans and Lorani diplomats surged forward, Kate and Lily unleashing bioelectric charges, while the humans tackled the disoriented raiders within minutes. All but Zara were subdued. The Vex leader backed toward the breach where they had entered, her weapon still raised. You cannot stop what is coming, she snarled. Both your species will regret this alliance. Then she activated something on her wrist and disappeared through the opening before anyone could stop her. Secure the prisoners, Amanda ordered, then turned to Diana. Are you all right? The Lorani diplomat nodded. Though her scales had dulled from the extreme heat, we will recover, she assured Amanda, though. I fear Zara will not abandon her mission. Sam, who had been examining the captured Vex equipment, looked up with alarm. This device is still transmitting. She warned, it's sending our location and status to their main ship. Amanda felt a chill. Despite the heat, they were damaged and vulnerable, and somewhere out there a Vex warship was coming for them. We have less time than I thought, she said. The real battle hasn't even begun. With the immediate threat contained, Amanda gathered her officers and the Lorani diplomats in the cargo bay, which had become their makeshift command center. The ship's systems were still compromised, and repairs progressed slowly. Tina wiped sweat from her brow as she delivered her report. The sabotage was extensive. Captain, she explained, targeting not just environmental controls but weapons, navigation, and communications. The Vex knew exactly where to hit us, and now they have a warship coming. Susan added, looking at the sensor readings, I estimate 3 hours before they reach us. Diana stepped forward, her royal blue scales now showing patches of determination. She and her fellow Lorani had maintained their simplified attire, finding it more practical under the circumstances. Captain Amanda, I believe I can offer assistance. The Lorani diplomat gestured to Lily, who produced a small crystal device from a hidden pocket in her remaining garments. This is a Lorani emergency beacon, she explained. It will signal our patrol ships in this sector. Amanda looked doubtful. We tried our distress signals. The Vex are jamming all standard frequencies. Lily smiled, her crest rising slightly in what the humans now recognized as pride. This operates on principles your science has not yet discovered, she said. Quantum entanglement communication cannot be jammed or intercepted. Hope flickered across the room. But Kate the Third Lorani tempered expectations. Even if the signal reaches our patrols, they may not arrive before the Vex warship. Amanda nodded. Understanding the situation demanded more immediate solutions. We need to regain control of our ship, she declared. Looking at the captured Vex raiders, their technology might give us an advantage. Sam had been studying the unconscious raiders and their equipment with scientific curiosity. These neural interfaces in their helmets, she said, holding one up, they use them to connect directly with their ship systems. Could we adapt this technology, Lily examined the helmet, her eyes widening. It would be dangerous but possible, she confirmed, looking at Diana for permission. The lead diplomat hesitated. Sharing such advanced technology violated Lorani protocols, but the situation was unprecedented. We must adapt to survive, she finally said, echoing Amanda's earlier words about human clothing. With that decision made, human and Lorani scientists began working together to interface Vex technology with the Explorer, while security teams prepared defenses. Using both species' strengths, the temperature remained dangerously high, but everyone adapted, finding new ways to communicate and cooperate in the engineering section. Tina worked alongside Kate, discovering that the Lorani bioelectric abilities could restart systems damaged by the sabotage. Your natural energy output matches our power requirements, she explained with excitement. If we connect these circuits here. Kate placed her scaled hands on the indicated panels, her body generating a controlled electric field that illuminated the darkened corridors. Most impressive, the alien said as systems flickered back to life. Our abilities were considered merely defensive. I never imagined this application. Meanwhile, Amanda and Diana interrogated a captured Vex raider who had regained consciousness. The prisoner glared at them with hatred, his dark scales rippling with anger. Why attack us now? Amanda demanded. What changed? Diana leaned closer, her authority evident despite her informal appearance. The treaty hasn't even been negotiated yet. The prisoner remained silent until Diana spoke in the Lorani language, her tone commanding and formal. Finally, he responded, Your alliance threatens everything. The technology the humans seek would destroy the balance of power. What technology? Amanda asked, looking between them. Diana hesitated, then explained. The Vex believe we intend to share our faster-than-light drive technology with humans. They fear your species would expand too quickly throughout the galaxy, changing everything, so this attack was preventative. Amanda realized. The Vex prisoner laughed coldly. It is merely the beginning. The warship brings something that will end this discussion permanently. Before they could question him further, Susan called urgently from the makeshift command center. Sensors detect multiple ships approaching. Fast, everyone rushed to view the scanner display, expecting to see the Vex warship instead. 5 smaller vessels appeared, moving at incredible speed. Lorani patrol ships, Diana exclaimed with relief. They received our signal. But the celebration was premature, as another, much larger signature appeared on the opposite side. The Vex warship had arrived, trapping the Explorer between opposing forces. What follows will determine the future of both our peoples, Diana said gravely to Amanda as they prepared to face the coming confrontation. On the view screen, the massive Vex vessel loomed dark and threatening, while behind them the Lorani patrol ships approached, cautiously caught in the middle. The damaged Explorer and her mixed crew of humans and Lorani diplomats awaited their fate. The Vex ship established communication, and Commander Zara's face appeared on screen, her expression, cold surrender. The diplomats and the human vessel will be spared, she demanded. Diana stepped forward, facing her cousin with determination. You have violated every principle of Lorani conduct. She said you attack peaceful envoys and threaten sovereign species. This path leads only to warp. Perhaps war is necessary. Zara replied, some things are too dangerous to share. The humans are not ready. Amanda joined Diana at the view screen. Who are you to decide what humanity is ready for? She challenged. We have the right to determine our own future. While this exchange continued, Lily, Sam, and the technical team completed their modifications to the ship systems using Vex technology combined with Lorani bioelectric capabilities and human engineering. They had created something, entirely new systems online. Sam reported every remaining functional system on the Explorer hummed with power, but now controlled through the hybrid interface they had built. Show them, Diana said softly. Amanda nodded, activating the new systems instantly. The Explorer shield strengthened, powered by Lorani bioelectric energy channeled through human technology, and enhanced by Vex interfaces. The impossible combination created a defense the Vex had never encountered. Zara's expression changed from confidence to shock as her ship's weapons fire dissipated harmlessly against the Explorer's shields. Impossible, she whispered. This is what cooperation between species can achieve. Diana declared, this ship now carries the first fruits of our alliance, a technology Neither of us could create alone but together. The Lorani patrol ships moved into defensive positions surrounding the Explorer, creating a united front against the Vex warship. You are outnumbered and outmatched. Amanda stated, return to your territory and abandon this aggression. Zara stared at them with hatred before cutting communication. The Vex warship turned slowly, its engines glowing as it prepared to retreat. What they created that day would be remembered in the histories of both species. The beginning of a new era where human adaptability combined with Lorani knowledge created possibilities neither had imagined possible. As the emergency lights dimmed and regular power returned throughout the ship, the temperature finally began to decrease, but neither humans nor Lorani rushed to return to their former formalities. Something had changed between them.